Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We're here because the cyber attack on UnitedHealth Group's Change Healthcare resulted in a prolonged disruption to our healthcare system earlier this year, and the cyber attack has caused serious harm to patients, providers, and pharmacies. Change Healthcare's platforms are reportedly involved with 1 of every 3 patient records, processing 15 billion transactions every year. And as a result of this attack, healthcare providers have suffered tremendous delays in reimbursement. Patients have also been forced to either front out-of-pocket expenses for their medicine or to delay treatment because pharmacies have been unable to process claims. Now, after Change Healthcare systems were taken offline on February 21st, UnitedHealth Group failed to provide clarity as to when its systems would be online again. In fact, UnitedHealth status updates repeated the same language for over a week, that the disruption was, and I quote, expected to last at least through the day. And this frustrated the ability of providers and pharmacies to conduct their day-to-day operations and decide whether to use alternative systems. In the meantime, now over 2 months later, the system is still not completely back to where it was, and there is a backlog of claims that need to be submitted and processed. The delayed restoration and lack of communication from UnitedHealth Group about a central part of our healthcare system is unacceptable. We would not accept a bank or internet service suddenly being offline for weeks or months without a clear end in sight. And it's wrong that healthcare providers, pharmacies, and patients continue to bear the brunt of a failure by a corporation that earned $371 billion last year to either prevent or quickly remedy this situation. Now, I'm sure that we will be hearing from Mr. Whitty about all the various things that UnitedHealth has done since the cyber attack to help providers, patients, and other payers. The bottom line is that UnitedHealth's data security practices were woefully inadequate. The company also did not have a plan in place to quickly recover from such an attack and to minimize the damage to everyone impacted. While it's true that the largest healthcare company in the country has since dedicated resources to clean up its mess, it feels like too little too late for all those who have been harmed. And to make matters worse, we still do not know the full extent of the damage from the cyber attack. Even if all the providers, pharmacies, and patients were made whole and the system returns to normal, huge volumes of protected health information appear to be in the hands of hackers. As UnitedHealth announced last week, this data breach could affect the privacy, and I quote, of a substantial portion of people in America. As part of our work in comprehensive federal consumer data privacy and security legislation, the committee has held numerous hearings highlighting the importance of companies adopting strong privacy and data security protections. So it's extremely frustrating to have one of the largest companies in the world failing to meet its obligations under existing law to adequately protect some of our most sensitive personal information. We're talking about sensitive information like our healthcare status, what medications we take, and what medical services that were provided. Now, Mr. Whitty, this never should have happened, and it can't happen again. UnitedHealth Group must do the hard work of adopting strong data security practices that include protecting against such attacks and adopting plans that minimize the impact of such attacks. It's going to take a lot of work to untangle this mess. The Department of Health and Human Services and the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services have worked very hard throughout this crisis to minimize the damage to essential health programs. HHS's Office for Civil Rights also has a lot of work ahead as it examines what went wrong here and the harm caused by the theft and potential release of HIPAA-protected data. So, bottom line is, as we learn more about what went wrong, this committee should examine whether additional guardrails, such as establishing cybersecurity requirements on Medicare contractors, whether they need to be in place to prevent this from happening again. And this hearing is a good start. I want to thank the chair, both the Chair Rogers and Griffin, for holding it, and I look forward to working with my colleagues on the issues raising here, and importantly, hearing from Mr. Whitty about how to make sure this does not happen again. So thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.